Hi, family. Welcome. This is Dr. Kia Pruitt. Welcome back. You are watching the Dr. Kia Pruitt Show. So, today I wanted to talk about Venezuela's secret because so many people have asked me questions about Venezuela, Iraq, Zimbabwe, Iran, other countries in the Middle East, countries in the South America, Central America, and they want to know what's going on geopolitically. Also, some of you are invested in many of these countries that we've just discussed. So let's talk about something that was published by Gold Telegraph on X or on Twitter just the other day on June the 16th. That should cause some of you to look into Venezuela. Grand Rising, good morning, great rising, happy rising, wealthy rising family. I just wanted to talk about something that I saw on Gold Telegraph about what's going on in Venezuela. Now, again, you all know that Venezuela is one of the countries that people who are invested in foreign currencies look into. And some of you have asked me about the Venezuelan bolivar, like, should we get into it? I'm not going to tell you what to invest in. You'll have to join our Silver Soul Tribe membership group to get into many of these countries that we discussed, what's going on geopolitically, what kind of sanctions they've had, what type of resources these countries have, and whether or not we think it's a good idea to invest in them. But since we're not financial advisors, we don't discuss that publicly. We discuss it in our membership group. And we'll talk about how to join the Silver Soul Tribe membership group in a few minutes, because we discuss not only investments, but on today at 11 o'clock, I'm going to discuss a secret trust that America has that will make Americans wealthy. There's so much money in this trust that it is enough for $1 million, $1.1 million for each American household. And allegedly, President Trump is going to unleash that secret trust due to the overturning of the Chevron doctrine that occurred last summer. So we'll get into that on the Secret Soul Tribe membership group today at 11. So as a segue, though, into that, many of you are invested in other currencies. This secret trust will release trillions of dollars into the global economy and help Americans, each household, become very, very wealthy. But if you are a spectator and if you are invested in certain things that we're going to discuss today at 11, you'll be able to make your family even more wealth. And I show an expert, a financial expert, and a White House insider that has shared that information. So that is for those of you who are interested in other ways of becoming wealthy. But some of you have Venezuelan bolivar, you have Iraqi dinar, you have Zimbabwean zim, you have gold, you have silver, you have other currencies that you know will revalue after the deep state has been completely dismantled. And you know that those currencies will revalue since President Trump has made trade agreements with almost all nations. In fact, President Trump said all nations have reached out to him for trade agreements. You know that he's made trade agreements in Asia. Those of you that follow me on the Secret Silver Soul Tribe group, you know about those in Asia because mainstream media hasn't talked about what has happened in Asia. But the rest of you know about those trade agreements that President Trump made in the Middle East. As a matter of fact, he secured trillions of dollars in trade agreements in the Middle East. And those trade agreements will inspire and encourage all of those countries to revalue their currencies because they have to have valuable currencies in order to trade and in order to do business with each other and with the strongest currency or the strongest country in the world. Our finances and economically, we are the strongest country in the world. So in order to do business with this economic powerhouse, you have to have money, not just wealth, but you have to have the resources, the money, the currencies to do business with us. So we'll get into that a little later. But for right now, let's get focused on what's happening in Venezuela, because I have somebody, Jeffrey Short, who is a member of the Secret Silver Soul Tribe group, and he's often here on the public channel always says, hold on to your Venezuelan bolivar. So why should you do that? Because on June the 16th, Gold Telegraph, whom I would encourage you to follow, said in the Venezuelan mining town of El Dorado, Most residents use gold instead of cash to buy their groceries. And they ask, what's the lesson here? When paper fails, gold never does. And the interesting thing about this town called El Dorado is that it's actually a poor town. It's a poor town with lots of mining and lots of mines there. It's so poor that the residents did not have enough cash. As a matter of fact, the cash that they do have is not worth anything because of high inflation. So what they decided to do was to go on the gold mines, and because it's their land, it's right there where they live, and they just pick up flakes of gold and they use it to buy groceries. Somebody said here that the name El Dorado means the gilded one in Spanish. And that's a direct reflection to the gold that was found there and the wealth associated with it. Maybe that's why the Venezuelan people have been starving. Maybe this is why the Venezuelan people are suffering and struggling, because there is gold there in their land, and particularly in El Dorado. You've seen a lot of songs about El Dorado. You've seen a lot of movies about El Dorado and even cartoons about El Dorado. But it's so gold rich and resource rich that there are gang members and mafia groups that control the wealth there. And this is why Venezuela is one of those countries that was allowed to come here. Venezuela, Nicaragua, Haiti, and Cubans, they were allowed to come here through many, many programs, but most recently under the Biden administration with the humanitarian visas. So those four citizens for those four countries were allowed to come here, started beginning in 2022, all the way up through, it's supposed to end in 2025, okay? They started coming in 2022, some came in 2023. They were allowed to come here on humanitarian visas because they come from poor nations, and they were told that while you're here in America, you can work for 2 years on a work permit. But the 2-year work permit is up. While many people are complaining about this 2-year work permit being up here in America, they are not paying attention to the fact that their countries, Cuba included, Venezuela, Haiti, other nations, Nicaragua, they are resource rich, but the resources have been kept from the people. However, through economic reforms that President Trump is making sure happens, and he's actually enforcing, as not only President Trump, but the global alliance will unleash or unlock those resources in those countries. This is a part of NASAR and JASARA, the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, and the global version of that, the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act, which says that all these countries, 209 to be exact, have made secret agreements to, number one, world peace, and secondly, they made agreements to stop trading with the United States dollar and use their own currency backed by resources. Since they made that agreement years ago, they started repatriating their gold back to themselves. They started also getting rid of the corrupt faction of their nations. But this is going on behind the scenes, and a lot of people don't know that. Well, as an aside, in order for people to have access to the resources in their countries, they must return to their own nations. And that is why President Trump has recently said that people that are here on humanitarian visas, which are 532,000 people that came in under the Biden administration, they need to go back home. They can either self-deport, or he will deport them, but he's going to give them $1,000, and he's paying for, our country is paying for them to go back home. But what they don't understand and overstand is their countries have the resources, and those resources will be unlocked. Now, while they do know that their countries have resources, they know that corrupt criminals who have been politicians and businessmen are controlling the wealth. But according to NASAR and JASARA, you have to be in your own country in order to receive this wealth, and the corrupt factions are being dismantled as we speak. So let's look back into what's happening in Venezuela. They're using gold flakes to buy groceries. And this isn't the first time this has happened. I don't know if you all remember that, but I reported in 2021 how coming right out of the shutdown, the global shutdown in 2020, Venezuelans were using flakes of gold to buy groceries and to get haircuts and to buy necessities because gold is in abundance everywhere, especially in the small town of El Dorado. Now, people can't fathom that here in America, but when you've been in other countries, for example, like Ghana, where I used to live for several years on and off from 2013 all the way up to 2016, 2017, you know that there are gold flakes like literally under your feet, especially in the small towns and in the villages. So in the small towns and villages that we lived and visited, you saw gold mines abounding and you saw gold literally at your feet. You're walking along it. But the people are like, and they will ask me, why are you all so obsessed with gold? And why are you all so obsessed with minerals when it's literally in abundance everywhere? You would kill for it. What is wrong with you people? They would ask me. You are brunies, you white people. They called me white because I came from America, because they understand white is a status and it has nothing to do with skin complexion. You are brunies, you white people. She said, they would say to me, you're crazy. You're fighting each other, killing each other over gold, which is abundant all across the planet. So they didn't get it, but because of our programming to use cash instead, most of us were doing whatever we could to get our hands on cash. But the Venezuelans, particularly those in El Dorado, said, we will not use cash. It's not worth anything. Follow their lead. They're using gold instead. Now, I said they're doing that now, and I'll show you an article and we'll read that. But in 2021, they were taking flakes of gold to buy their necessities. While everybody else was struggling, begging for stimulus checks, cash, saying they didn't have a job, and trying to figure out creative ways to make money, the Venezuelan people were breaking off flakes of gold to pay for meals and haircuts. Look at this. This was October 20, 2021. And they're doing it again. Let this be a lesson for us that gold is the standard. Gold is money. The article says, to fathom the magnitude of Venezuela's financial collapse, travel southeast from Caracas, past the oil fields. They're oil rich, they're gold rich, and over the Orinoco River and head deep into the savannah that blankets one of the remotest corners of the country. They're in the barbershops and restaurants and hotels that constitute the main strip of one dusty little outpost after another. You'll find prices displayed in grams of gold. So what they were very, very creative. They would take their flakes of gold, get together and figure out how many flakes of gold you need to get a haircut, how many flakes of gold you need to buy meat. This is just beautiful. It's amazing, family. The article goes on to say that in one particular town called Territorial, you can hand gold to your barber and they will satisfy it with a calculation. They'll come up with a calculation of how much gold this is worth, how much this is worth in services or goods. And they said you can literally pay for everything with gold. That was in 2021. I'm going to put that in the description section for you, but we don't have time to read that right now because I have another podcast in 9 minutes. So let's look at what's going on now in Venezuela. Because remember, I said Gold Telegraph put up that post or that tweet that said people in El Dorado were using gold for cash, for food, for their local goods and services, which, by the way, you all know that in America, you can now use gold and silver for local goods and services, which is why 45 states repealed the state sales taxes from the sales of precious metals. They removed state sales taxes from precious metals because they said precious metals cannot be treated like a collectible or a commodity because our Constitution for our republic says that silver and gold is the only thing that can be used to pay off debts. And silver and gold is the only thing that can be used as money. In the Silver Soul Tribe membership group, we talk about how you can figure out or find which stores and merchants in your city and in your state accept gold and silver right now. We show you the calculation of gold and silver, how much gold is going for right now. If you buy a half a gold back or a whole gold back or a 10 gold back note, we show you the calculations. And we show you this place where you can put in your address or your zip code, and it will bring up all the merchants in your area that accept silver and gold. And we teach you how to barter with silver and gold. And we teach you how to train or teach the merchants to accept silver and gold. So let's look at this article that was just published June 16th. We're talking about Venezuela right here, right now. The Venezuelan mining community of El Dorado, the majority of residents in that community carry around gold instead of cash or cards to pay for their groceries. They live in a town named after the so-called mythical city of gold. They'll tell you that. Do you see how they do that? They'll tell you that El Dorado is a mythical city of gold. They tell you that in the movies and in the cartoons because they don't want you to know that this is a real thing, that real gold, silver, and other metals are in places like El Dorado. But most of the people are poor. That's crazy. Merchants use scales to carefully weigh the flecks that people guard in plastic pill bottles or wrapped in pieces of paper and market goods and price and weight of gold. For 0.02 grams, you can get a small packet of maize meal. For 1 gram of prepackaged bag of groceries that include flour, pasta, oil, margarine, ketchup, or milk powder, you can exchange that with gold. A gram of gold can purchase between $85 and $100 worth of goods, but it takes hours of backbreaking work, according to this article, to amass the gold, if you're in luck. Gold is a blessing given to us so we can buy what we want, but you have to work hard, a 48-year-old Jose Tobias said, in a town of 5,000 residents, mostly employed in mining, legal and illegal. Why is it illegal to mine in their own country, in their own town? Because you have gangs, you have elite, so-called elite people that's hoarding the wealth, and that's creating statute codes and policies that say you can't mine on your own lands. But these people have found a way, okay? And if you live in a town filled with gold, you might not even have to do illegal mining. Well, it might not be backbreaking. You might just be able to mine the gold right underneath your feet. I saw it happen in Ghana. One day at the mine, you might find nothing. But there are lucky people who have gotten up to a kilo, which is 2.2 pounds of gold. But I haven't had that kind of a blessing yet. This person says, I've only gotten a little bit. El Dorado's residents have limited access to banking services. They could sell their gold at one of the dozens of dealers that dot the streets, but most prefer not to. Gold, unlike the battered Venezuelan currency, the Bolivar, has lost 50% of its value this year. They said it does not depreciate. No gold, no life. El Dorado arose as a military fort as Britain and Venezuela squared off in 1895 over the mineral and oil-rich region of Essequibo, now at the center of an increasingly heated territory dispute with Guyana, which has administered it for decades. So this dispute they're talking about in Guyana and Venezuela, or in Guyana, actually is a territory dispute between the gangsters and the local people, because that place is oil rich and that place is gold rich. So for people that know about countries with resources, you know that not only do gangsters take over the lands, but so do governments, which is still the same thing as gangsters. They're mafia too. They take over the land, they hoard the gold, they hoard the oil, and then they make it illegal for you to access your own land and the resources that are on your own land. But people are finding a way. They did it in 2021 in Venezuela, and they're doing it again here in 2025. So What's the lesson here? Venezuela has had sanctions put on their nation for a long time, where no other nation was allowed to do business with Venezuela. As such, because of the sanctions and because of all the hoarding of the gold and the minerals and the oil on their lands, and because the people haven't had access to it, the people have been extremely poor. They've lived in abject poverty. They felt that they had no other option but to come to places like America to seek asylum. Now, thanks be to the Global Alliance and the Grand Army of the Republic or the Galactic Federation, whomever you see them as the people and the entities that are helping to secure the wealth for we the people again, and to end the corruption in Venezuela and other countries, even in America, we will have access to that wealth. As a matter of fact, at 11 o'clock, I want to talk about how you're going to have access to trillions of dollars of wealth here in America if you position yourself. Not only are we going to have wealth through Nasara and Jasara, which we will have put into all of our global accounts in the name of universal basic income, which everybody will get, as well as all your debts being wiped out during this debt jubilee year of the nine. But when you know how to invest in certain areas, you will be able to gain even more wealth for your families. So just to encourage those of you who are interested in Venezuela, Maduro recently announced a gold production boost in the country of Venezuela. We don't have time to go over the article, but I am going to show you this article right here. And I'll put it in the description section for you. President Maduro announces gold production boost for Venezuela's reserves. Nicolas Maduro announced Monday significant progress in gold bar production to strengthen the country's national and international reserves. During his speech at the closing ceremony of Expo Metals 2025 held in Bolivar State, let me see if I can get that here. Maduro highlighted the delivery of 1 ton of gold bars to the Central Bank of Venezuela, stating that this production metal meets strict international standards. I don't know why this popped up here. President Maduro emphasized that these gold bars are produced by Venezuelan miners, and he stressed the country's determination to continue developing its mining capacity. No one will be able to stop us, he declared, calling on investors and artisans to work with the framework of ecological preservation. This reflects the Venezuelan government's attempt to balance natural resource exploitation with environmental responsibility. The president also acknowledged the role of the Bolivarian National Armed Forces and said that they are protecting ecological areas such as parks, lakes, and rivers, suggesting a comprehensive approach to mining that includes both economic development and economic or environmental conservation. So I'm going to leave that in the description section for you to read on your own. And I'll do you one better. I'm going to put these in the chat for you, because it may take me a while to put it in the description section since I have another podcast to do. So let me know what you think about this, family. Do you think Venezuela is teaching us how to operate using our sovereignty by refusing to use the United States dollar and other fiat currencies, but instead use silver and gold, which is real lawful money? Do you think Venezuelans are not only teaching us a lesson, but are they leading the way? And what do you think they're really telling us with the gold production now being ramped up? Can you see that with the gold production being ramped up, number one, President Trump deporting Venezuelans back home, President Trump making trade agreements? Can you see that the revaluation of currencies and the global currency reset is now in effect right now, right in front of our eyes? Now, there have been disputes, we did say that, in Venezuela between the gangs or the mafia and the miners. However, that is being mitigated. You can find that article in the Latin Times, how organized crime and gold mining are fueling Venezuela's territorial dispute with Guyana. Here's a report on that. I'll let you read that at your liberty. However, like I said, that is being handled. But what we can't have here in America is, what do you call it? An infiltration or invasion of people from other nations because they're struggling. They're going to have to work out their situation. And of course, we have a heart for the people, but they have to work out their situation. And the Venezuelans that live in El Dorado are figuring it out for themselves. This is what happens when people stop involving themselves in other people's business. People work out things, they figure things out. And I brought this example up, and I'll close with this before, how once President Trump put sanctions on Iran, now we're going to talk about Iran and Iraq. When President Trump put sanctions on Iran, mainstream media had a fit. They were angry about that. How dare you put sanctions on Iran? Now Iraq cannot get oil or energy from Iran. How dare you do that? This is evil. This is wicked. And even the Iranian prime minister said that was wicked. And they said, you know what? Stop putting sanctions on us. And you American people need to withdraw your troops from Iraq because you're being adversarial. But President Trump said, you know what? The Iraqi people asked us to be here in Iraq. So we're going to withdraw some of our troops, not because you said to, but we're going to do it when we're ready. But what we're going to do to you, Iran, because we know what's really going on, is we're going to put sanctions on you. So Trump put sanctions on Iran. And mainstream media said, oh my God, that's horrible, because how's Iraq going to survive? Well, once President Trump put sanctions on Iran, Iraq said, oh my God, now that we're not dependent on them for energy, we're not dependent on them for oil, we're not dependent on them for other goods. Now we're going to have to figure out for ourselves what to do. So what did they do? They started drilling themselves. Iraq started drilling in their own nation. Iraq forged relationships with Russia and got oil from Russia and forged other alliances with other nations. Then Iraq started making deals, and they started pouring into their people. And we talk about that in the Silver Soul Tribe membership, exactly how they poured into their people and how they said, you know, we're figuring this out for ourselves. And they became very creative. They repatriated their gold back from the Vatican and other places. And they fulfilled all of al-Sudaini's campaign promises when he came to power in Iraq in 2022. He said, I'm going to do three things, because he said the former administration didn't care about the Iraqi people. He said, but we tend not to do that on our watch. He said, I'm going to fight and end endemic corruption in my nation, number one. Number two, I'm going to work with other countries to return my stolen money. And in the Silver Soul Tribe, I showed you how he returned the stolen money. And in fact, how much he returned. I'm going to work with other countries to return my stolen money. And I'm going to work with the Central Bank of Iraq to revalue the Iraqi dinar against the United States dollar. And he fulfilled all three of those promises. But he became sovereign and independent once they stopped depending and relying upon Iran. The same thing will happen in America. Once the government is dismantled and the public sector is completely destroyed or dismantled or taken down, we the people will stop sucking on the breast of the government and asking for entitlement benefits, which are really coming out of our trust anyway. We won't need welfare. We won't need Section 8. We won't need public housing. We won't need public education. We won't need public transportation once the government is dismantled, because what's going to happen is now we'll move from the public to the private. The public is the government controlling the resources. We're going to talk about that today in the Silver Soul Tribe membership group right after this podcast. The government had been controlling resources. Well, the overturning of the Chevron doctrine now eliminates government, and it gives you and me the authority and the ability, to operate in our sovereignty instead of operating in poverty. Now, I will be operating in the private, meaning we will establish our own businesses and we will conduct businesses with each other. We will do bartering between each other. We will do business with each other as merchants and private entities, and have our own private banks and private businesses. And we'll do business with people and companies abroad. We are going to have to do a whole paradigm shift from slave and citizenship to sovereignty, from being dependent upon the government and thinking we all need them to take care of us, to now having rule, reign, and control over our own lives. That's what sovereign means. Going back to the gold and silver standard is a step in that direction. Venezuela is leading the way. This is why here in America, 45 states took it upon themselves to introduce bills and pass bills to take off or repeal the state sales taxes from the sales of precious metals, and to get rid of capital gains tax. So if you acquire gold and silver back in the day, you had to pay the government a capital gains tax for any gold or silver that you had in your possession. And in order to even buy gold and silver, you had to pay a tax to the government. Now that's unlawful. It's really always been unlawful, but the fake faux government called the United States Incorporated, with the bloodline families that usurped authority from our lawful government, the Republic, and incorporated themselves in 1871 as a nonprofit religious organization with the Pope as the head, and having their own constitution called the Constitution of the United States Incorporated, and creating all these fake faux government agencies like the FBI, CIA, IRS, and creating their own statutes, policies, and codes. They enslaved us and made us think we had to pay them and abide by their rules. They took away our sovereignty. They usurped authority from our republic. Well, now that's being dismantled with President Trump, the Global Alliance, with the overturning of the Chevron Doctrine, and with even local lawmakers, because we do have benevolent, actual constitutional judges here in America. And we do have some constitutional lawyers here in America. Although most of the attorneys here, that's different from lawyers, they actually pass a bar, British Accredited Registry, and they work for the British Crown. You have some benevolent factions, though, of those lawmakers who understand and overstand constitutional law and have been trained in constitutional law, that have pushed forward bills to overturn certain things, to repeal the state sales tax from precious metals in order to reclaim silver and gold as money, so that we can align with the Constitution for our republic. So I just want you to see that these are happening here in America, and they're happening abroad as well. We just didn't know where to look. But when you know where to look, and you look at these countries that are making deals or using their own sovereign abilities, or using their creative abilities to make it, to barter, then you can do the same thing. This is a good lesson for us to stop waiting on the government, to stop waiting on somebody to save us, because you are the savior for whom you've been looking. If you are interested, family, in joining the Silver Soul Tribe, then here is the link right here. I put it in the chat, because right now we're going to talk about a secret trust that a White House insider, an ex-CIA person who has worked on many presidential campaigns and many presidential administrations. We're going to talk about a secret trust worth trillions of dollars that he said President Trump is about to release. And we're going to talk about how all of us are going to have access to that trust. However, some people that position themselves as investors will be able to acquire even more wealth. These are alleged secrets that I'm going to just present to you, and I'm going to show you links, videos, and then leave it up to you to do the research to see if it's something you're interested in. And I want to take the time to say thank you to Sister Barbara Pittman for sending me a Cash App blessing. God bless you, Sister Barbara. You often bless Dr. Kia Pruitt, and to all of you that send a Cash App to my Cash App. And for those of you who are asking, is $ Mama Kia 13. That's $ MAMA 13. And I want to take this time to thank Chief Mac, who sent us a Cash App blessing, but also sent us a super sticker and a super chat here in the chat. For all of you that support my work, whether it be just by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, sharing the video, or even contributing financially, I want to say thank you. Even if you don't do any of those things, but you show up, thank you. Because we have to have this information so that we can help our family members and our communities. If we're all sovereign and we're all wealthy, then we can get rid of crime. We can help those that are still struggling until Nassar is fully released. We can help uplift the whole planet, not just the family and the community, but the whole planet. So that's why I thank you for being here, because you take the time to listen to this information and to use it. You vet it. You look through the articles that I give you. You look through the videos that I provide for you. You listen to the information, but you line it up against your research. Sometimes people ask me, how do I know this is true? Or why should I trust you? You shouldn't. You should use your own discernment. But there are some things we can all do for ourselves because we have the ability. We have the ability to read. We have the ability to listen. We have the ability to work together so that we can help the whole planet that had been enslaved by these entities that did not respect us. So, in summary, Venezuela is now using gold instead of cash to buy local goods and services. They're using the gold flakes that are in the mines or that's right there on their land. Unfortunately, the governments there have made it illegal by passing statutes, codes, and policies that saying you cannot use the gold or mine the gold on your own land in your own town. But now we see a lot of corruption, even though it has reached high levels, ending. And what has sparked that is these agreements that these countries, 209 nations, made years ago behind the scenes. They call it Project Sandman. One of the biggest decisions they could make, other than saying we're going to have global peace, is to say we're going to stop trading with the United States dollar. Because what made the United States dollar the world reserve currency in the first place was the United States incorporated faithful government's agreement with the Saudi princes. The United States Incorporated made an agreement with the Saudi Empire to protect the Saudi kingdom in exchange for oil, and then force all nations to get oil from Saudi Arabia using the United States dollar. They couldn't use their own currency. They couldn't use gold and silver. They had to use the United States dollar. That's what made the United States dollar the world reserve currency. But that currency is the currency. You see current currency, water, currents, like waves. We were on maritime law, admiralty law. That was the currency of the Federal Reserve central banking system that's attached to the United States Incorporated. Well, all countries said we're going to stop trading with the dollar. In essence, what they're saying is we're going to use our own currency backed by the resources in our country, or we're just going to bypass all of that and use gold and silver for trade, thereby asserting their sovereignty. So when these countries stop trading with the dollar, they hurt the Federal Reserve central banking system. And they hurt the whole Federal Reserve, because now they're using their own currency and their own resources for trade. That's over for the Federal Reserve. And at the same time, here in America, you have the Supreme Court of the United States say that state-sponsored banks here in America can operate independently from the Federal Reserve central banking system, and they can have their own charter and issue out their own gold-backed currencies. So now state-sponsored banks have more power than the Federal Reserve central banking system. That's in alignment with the 10th Amendment for our Constitution that says local governments and local communities have more power than the federal government, because people really are the ones that give the Federal Reserve the power. Federal Reserve, federal governments, federal agencies, they only have the power that we, the people, give to them, whether we agree consciously or subconsciously. Even if you don't want to agree, but you go along with their statutes, codes, and policies, we've been agreeing, and it's called tacit agreement. But now we're saying no more. We're not trading with you. Not even here in America. Many of us are saying we're going to teach merchants how to take our silver and gold, and we're going to show them the laws that says in our state, like in the state of Florida, you could use gold and silver right now to buy local goods and services. We're teaching them. And if they don't want to do it, we'll continue to educate them. And if we keep getting pushback, we'll talk to our governor who has made it lawful to use silver and gold. And, thanks be to us Floridians, Governor DeSantis is very much agreeable with using gold and silver as money. But if your governor does not agree, like Governor Andy Beshear in Kentucky, with using gold and silver as money, then do as the 3 taxpayers did in the state of Kentucky. They sued Governor Andy Beshear. You can look it up. Kentucky became a 45th state to repeal the state sales taxes from precious metals, meaning they said their representatives said that we're acknowledging silver and gold as money and not a commodity, so it can't be taxed. Governor Andy Beshear still said we're going to tax it anyway. So 3 Kentucky lawmakers, I'm sorry, not lawmakers, 3 Kentucky so-called citizens, or 3 Kentucky taxpayers. I won't call them citizens because they're not citizens. If you're a citizen, you're a slave. You can't be a sovereign and citizen at the same time. So call yourself a sovereign citizen is an oxymoron. You're either a citizen, slave, or you're sovereign. 3 sovereign entities, people in Kentucky got with one of the largest precious metals companies and sued Governor Andy Beshear. And as one of the women said to me the other day when I was on a show talking about this, she said, they all have what she said, you can access, what did she call it? She said, when you sue these companies, what is it called when they have some type of insurance that you can attack? And she said, that's what you're talking about. These companies don't want you, and these governments, they don't want you, and these mayors, these governors, they don't want you to sue them. But when you do, you gain access to money that they don't want you to know about. Gosh, I wish I could think of the name of what she called it. What is it called when you sue an entity? They have some type of money set aside. Is it insurance? It's something she said. I'll come back and I'll tell you what it was. But I told her on this show, I was on somebody else's show a couple of days ago with Princess Elizabeth. I said, you can sue people. You can sue governors. You can sue merchants that want to abide by the law. But we've been so used to feeling like we had to just go along with things that we didn't realize that we had power. And we've been conditioned to scream, holler, shout, beg, march, do protests, which do nothing. They do nothing. We've been protesting and marching for decades. Where has it gotten us? Many people still feel like they're enslaved. Many people are still struggling financially. It hasn't gotten us far. So use the power that you have, family. Yes, their bond. Thank you, Echo Media. Thank you, Sister Camille. Thank you, UB 2023. Their surety bond. When you sue these entities, you will access their surety bond. They don't want that. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you, Jay Gold. Thank you, Code One Film. You gain access to their surety bond. Yes. Oh, wow. Code One says Indiana, silver and gold are currency. It's real money. It's not taxed, and it can be used for debts right now. Hi, Marby, you're Venezuelan. Wow, it's good to see you. Do you want to come on and say anything since you're from Venezuela? Let me know. I do have another podcast to do, but since you're Venezuelan, maybe you want to say something to the Soul family. Here, I'm gonna put a link in the chat for you. Come up and say something to us. Let us know what you think about all this discussion. Venezuela, under the present unelected government, will not improve the lives and economics of the people and will not be viable for Venezuelan families to return, Andy is saying. Lay asked if the Venezuelan government stole the election in 2020. Why don't we ask a Venezuelan? Jeffrey Shore says, thank you, Dr. Kia. I'm still holding my Bolivar. It's because of you we're doing this podcast today, because you always say, I'm still holding. I'm not going anywhere. You're welcome. Code One Film says, buy Bolivar. Any Venezuelans in the chat that want to come up and say something? Code One Film says, Venezuela took the rights back from France. Macron is dead. The real Macron, a robotic Macron, is there now. Thank you for that. Great rising. Thank you. Thank you, Donald Richardson, for being a member. Again, if anybody wants to join, we're about to go live now on that channel, and we're going to talk about a secret trust worth trillions that will be released under the Trump administration, according to a former White House insider. Here's the link if you want to join the Silver Soul Tribe. You click on that link and go through the prompts and you'll be a member. Right. Slave mentality is different from a sovereign mentality. Grand rising to you too. Oh, Hadassah said you grew up in a Black-owned community. That's awesome. Confirmation, Rod Hayes saying the same marketplace matriarch. Hadassah says. So we had somebody from Venezuela in the chat. If you want to come on, please do. Hello, King David Bryant. I am wonderful. Thank you. David says, wonderful show as always. Will local and state taxes be abolished? Yes, they will. All taxes will be abolished. What we're hearing is that there may be one tax that will be on large ticket items only. But yes, state and local taxes will all go away. Hello, Militant Angel. I'm glad you caught us live too. Okay. Marby, if you want to come on, you said you're Venezuelan, come and say something to us. Anybody from Venezuela in the chat? Yes, Hadassah, I believe in bartering. We can use gold and silver for trade and for local goods and services, but we can also barter. We can say, okay, if you do my hair, I'll fix your car. We can barter for goods and exchange goods and services. We don't even have to use money. As a matter of fact, we're moving to an era where we won't use money eventually. But right now we'll be using gold and silver because the creator, source, and others desire for us to experience wealth because we haven't experienced that. We've been enslaved for so long that we're going to use gold and silver for money. We're going to experience tremendous wealth, and then we'll get to a place where we won't use money at all. Code One Film says $200,000 bid bond, $200,000 performance bond, and a $200,000 payment bond to add to the performance bond. Those are the bonds that they have. We can, when we sue them, we access all that money. We can access some or all of that money. You didn't hear everything from the beginning? Oh, that's okay, Marvin. I just wanted to know if you wanted to talk about what it was like to be in Venezuela. You might be here in America now, but if you want to talk about anything relating to Venezuela, you're welcome to do so. Oh, they stole it? Now, Code One, you're going to have to come on and do a podcast with me because you have so much information that I would love for you to share. Did you want to say anything today, Code One? Somebody says if Maduro, Andy, thank you, says if Maduro and the military friends are there, they don't have a chance to make a living there. Perhaps Maduro's going to, well, somebody said that's the fake Maduro that's there now. Perhaps he's going to be replaced. However, the people that are there are using what they have to make it. They're using flakes of gold. Wow. Molly Babe said, God told me to buy Boulevard. Good, good. They are a very oil-rich and gold-rich nation. Just do a little research and see how much wealth Venezuela have, and you'll see why these people have kept the Venezuelans so poor, because they don't want them to have access to their own wealth. Hi, Virginia. Grand Rising. Thank you for being a Silver Soul Tribe member. Hi, Love Being Nubian. Thank you for being a member. We're about to go on now on our other group. Thank you, sister, for being here. Thank you, Sister Sheila. Greetings, Brother Ralph. You're welcome. Oh, you wish I had another payment system other than this one at this Cash App? I do. Thank you so much. It is PayPal. Let me see if I can find my PayPal link. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Oh, here it is. I'm gonna look for it for you, then I have to go live. It is here. I'm gonna put it in the chat. And I'm just Kia Pruitt on PayPal. And my is at Kia Pruitt. And when you go to at Kia Pruitt on PayPal, you'll see Dr. Kia Pruitt. I'll show you what it looks like. But here is the direct link for PayPal. It's in the chat. Jeffrey says, for those, hi Karima, it's good to see you. Brother Jeffrey says, for those that want Bolivar, you can go to Banknote World. He got $5 million for, 5 million Bolivar for $34. Thank you, Jeffrey. I love you too, Karima. Okay, thank you. Michael says, only on new goods will there be a tax. When do you expect that RB to revalue? I don't have a date. Oh, you said, thank you. Code One says I'm doing a good job. We have a new member. Hi, Nor Elsa. Hi, welcome. Thank you for being a new member. Okay, let me see where we're about to go on live there now. Here is that. That's where you join the Silver Soul Tribe. Okay, Andy, you want to talk about Venezuela? Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes. Hold on. There's a link right there, Andy. And for the person that asked about my PayPal link, it is right here. It's paypal.me/Kia Pruitt. And this is what it looks like. Thank you so much for your contributions. I sincerely appreciate it. God bless you. Heaven smile on you. And may you be blessed and blessed 1,000-fold for your generous giving. This is what my PayPal link looks like. At Kia Pruitt, this is me with my hair up. And this is the link here. And if you're interested in another payment, placed in my Cash App is $ Mama Kia 13. Chief, hi Chief Fayawata. Mass tourism, she says, has devastated the small Caribbean island more than anything. Everything is available on those cities that are called cruise ships. Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, and the tourism doesn't help the countries or the islands much at all. And in fact, I know when I visited islands, they have beaches reserved just for tourists, and the people that are from those islands may not even enter their own beaches. It's crazy to me. Andy's from Venezuela. Come on up, Andy. Please. I sent the link. I put the link here in the chat. I'm going to have to change the time for our private membership group. We'll meet at 12. Andy, you're from Venezuela. Come on up. I'll set it. Oh, gosh. I apologize that I'm changing the channel. Oh, people are over there waiting. So come on. You have to come up really quickly. We have a lot of people waiting, Andy. Hi, Audrey Lattimore. Good to see you. You know, I told you have to be related to my children, my 3 sons and my 7 sons and my 1 daughter. Andy, did you want to talk about Venezuela right quick? We'll give you a minute or two. There's the link. And let me tell everybody on the other channel, we'll be there in 2 minutes. Sister Carol, who is a Soul Tribe member, says she keeps getting notifications and then become unsubscribed. What? They're unsubscribing people from my channel and from my membership group. Are you here, Andy? Okay, here you go. Hi, Andy. Welcome. Is this Andy? No, this is S. Coop. Hi, S. Coop. I'm sorry. Hi, darling. Oh, she's not here. Device not connected. She must have gotten kicked out. S. Coop. Hi.
So sorry, did not mean to intrude.
That's okay. How are you?
I'm okay. I was just waiting. Hello, beautiful lady. Hello. I wanted Andy to be able to come up, so pardon me.
Oh, I don't see Andy. Are you from Venezuela as well?
Hello.
Beautiful. S. Coop, are you from Venezuela? You just wanted to say something to us.
No, I just clicked the link and it brought me here. So
I'm sorry. Okay. Well, hello. It's good to see you. Thank you, sister. Okay. I guess she clicked the link. All right. I don't see Andy. I don't see anybody from Venezuela who wants to talk, but we just wanted to let you all know that Venezuela is using gold. The people in El Dorado, that's a small mining company. Small mining community. They're using flakes of gold, whatever they can find or whatever they can mine, whether legally or illegally, to buy local goods and services. And that should be an example for us of how to operate in our sovereignty. So, Andy, you said you were from Venezuela. We were waiting on you. We don't see you. So I'm going to have to move on if you don't come up. Hola. Andy, did you get it? It's there. There's the link. Come on up. I see Kim. Andy, where are you, though? Hi, Kim.
Hi, I clicked the link. I wasn't supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be on
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
sister.
that link is to join the StreamYard, but if you want to join the group, I'll put the link in the
Yeah,
chat too. Okay, I'll put it in the
yeah.
chat right now. Okay, darling.
I
Thank you.
apologize, sister.
That's okay.
All
No, I'm
right.
glad to hear your voice.
Good to hear you.
Thank you. I didn't mean to take you off so abruptly. Let me see if I can find the join button. People are waiting on the group, so we have to go, family. Unless are you from Venezuela? Anybody from Venezuela that cares to speak, please come up. The link is in the chat. Otherwise, if you want to join the Silver Soul Tribe group, here it is. Oh, I see Andy. Yay. Hi, Andy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fantastic.
I'm so
How are
glad
you?
to be here. I'm originally from Venezuela. I've been
Okay.
here many years now.
Okay. Yes.
But I left Venezuela when Chavez, that's the one before Maduro, took over the country. He was elected, that is true, but the re-elections were fake, okay?
Oh, okay.
Then Maduro came over, also fake election. Nothing has been real since Chavez took over Venezuela 30-something years ago. He died, and then Maduro took over. But it has been totally non-democratic whatsoever. Every time people rose to complain, that the leaders died. They have many places, but one of the worst parts is called Helicoide in Venezuela, in Caracas. And that's where people go to suffer and be tortured for years. So that is not true that Maduro is going to help and Venezuela is now a viable place to go back to. It's not. And it will need a big change for people to be tempted. Now, let me tell you something. Venezuelans love Venezuela. They love living in their country. They are not living, 8 million of them living all around the world for nothing. It's because they were forced. Either you go hungry or you leave. That was the choice. That is the choice. There is no industry anymore, only the meek oil industry that is allowed. All the proceeds go to the government, and those are very few people. I would say maybe 1% are involved and receive a decent income. There are some companies there that, yes, they pay their employees, but I can tell you, just one example, a sister, she works as a teacher, and she earns, and she's very rich, $400 a month.
And that's considered rich?
Correct, over there. But that doesn't buy you a supermarket for one person for 1 month. No.
Okay.
Everything is very expensive. And there aren't many, mostly in the cities. In the small cities like you're talking about, tiny villages.
Yes.
First of all, this village that they have told you about doesn't exist. There is a town called El Dorado. There are indigenous people that are killed all the time because they try to get gold. The government has all of that under control. Okay. And the way you can imagine a tyrannical government, what do they mean with under control?
Yeah.
So no, it's not viable. I know that. I'm so sure 90% of Venezuelans outside Venezuela would love to go back.
They would.
Oh yes. It was a wonderful country to live in.
Okay.
It was wonderful. It was warm. The people were happy. Of course, there was hunger, but that was usually as there is in every place. There are some people that get better and improve themselves. I don't know, and as they grow, they study, they try to better themselves. There are some people that are not made like that. They prefer just to be under somebody all the time.
Right.
And that's fine too. But right now, over there's not that choice either.
Mm.
So that's why I kept on writing, because it's very, the idea that they gave you on that
The article?
yes, that you read, is not real.
Hmm.
It's not real at all. It's like saying you can go back to Iran at this time. It's not. It's a different kind of war, but it's a
Hmm.
war
The
between the
people in the
people and the
chat,
government.
the people in the chat are saying they're happy that you came up, and they're saying bless you
It,
for sharing what's
yeah,
really going on there.
yeah, it's been going on for, it started 30 years ago, even though the first Chavez was elected because people did not know any better. In
Mm.
Venezuela, they like people that are like actors, you know, and they look good and they talk pretty and all of it. And people were, I don't know how they are now, but were very easily grabbed, you know. The less you are prepared, the easier you are to be grabbed by the wrong people like Chavez, people like Maduro. Yeah,
Now,
Maduro.
go ahead.
I'm sorry, Maduro has not changed anything. All he has done is make the right people rich while he was
Oh.
there, so that he can stay in power. That means that the military, or most of the military that are still there, because many of them got out because they would be killed because they were not in agreement with him. But the military there is bought. It's bought. They do whatever necessary to stay there because they know they cannot go anywhere else either. So it would be silly for any Venezuelan to want to go back at the moment. No.
Well, let me ask you this question, sister. What do you say to the people that feel like there's so many people that have come from different countries here that that have the jobs and get the resources that Americans don't have access to the resources? Like how would you encourage the American people?
That's the thing. It's true. It is true. How can I say? This is very, very difficult because on one hand, I know that for Venezuelans, I don't know, I have an idea of the other countries, but we're talking particularly about Venezuelans. They don't have a choice.
Oh, come back, sister. Andy. Okay, so I can see her in the back office, but I don't see. I'm going to send you another link, Andy. I can see you in the back office, but you're not here up on the screen. Here's another link, sister. Come back, Andy. Please come back. The people want to hear. Let's see. Everything Special says you all will return home soon. The best is yet to come. Thank you for encouraging her like that. Sister Andy, please come back. I don't want you to think this was something happening on my end. I can see you. I can see you in the back office, Andy. The people are saying, educate us. Gerald says, please come back and educate us. I'll put the link back in the description section for you. I mean, in the chat. If she can't come back, I do work too. Thank you, Dr. Kia Pruitt and Andy, for sharing with us what is really happening out there. If she can't come back, you can say something, Natural Heaven. The link is in the, they cut her off. I see. Andy, if you're in the chat, your screen went completely black. So what's happening is Andy is sharing with us what's really going on in her country. She's from Venezuela. She's here. And I asked her to please speak on how Americans may feel that if there's so many people from other countries coming into our country, how that undercuts the American people. And she said she was going to speak to that, but they cut her off. S. Coop says she may have to hit a button that shut off her camera. It's easy to do accidentally. Andy, Andy, can you hear me? Can you see us? Here's the link. Oh, Andy says, I am here, but no image. Okay, Andy, I sent another link. Can you click on the link? And somebody is saying you can hit a button. There, I hear, yes, 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 yes. She's back.
Yeah.
Are they cutting her off? Andy, they're saying your side of the screen went black. And maybe you can just hit on the camera. Whatever you just did, Andy, it worked. Chief Faya Wata is saying they're blocking you. Thank you, Chief. Chief. Andy, see if you accidentally hit the button to shut off your camera. We want to hear what Andy has to say. They seem to be blocking her. We want to hear from people from these countries that have had to immigrate here. What's going on in their country? Sheila Perkins, thank you for being a member. She says, I believe everyone would like to live in their own country if the governments would allow them to live in peace there and to live in abundance. I agree. Yeah, it looked like the deep state doesn't want this information to come out. I agree, nor Elsa. Hi, I will maintain. Why do they want us? We want to hear from our Venezuelan sister. And I'm so glad that she listened and was very empathetic to my side of the giving the news, and not, she wasn't she didn't seem to be like upset. She was very empathetic, and she was very kind to share her side. You agree with Sheila Perkins? They're messing with her, and that everyone would like to live in their own countries. Sister Andy, I'm going to send the link to the chat, to this private chat for you. She can't get to the video. Oh my God. She can hear me, but there's no image. And she says, I'm here, but can't get to the video. Gosh. We really want to hear you. Should we come back later on today, Andy? Code 1, you were trying to get into, but you can't? Oh my God. I apologize, family. I really want to hear from Andy. Andy, try to come in one more time. If it doesn't work, I'm going to do this podcast on my private group, and then I'll come back at about 1 o'clock. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, that's okay, Code 1. You don't have to use the camera. Oh, we really wanted to hear from Sister Andy. So what was happening, family, is I was reporting on how Venezuelans in El Dorado are using gold, according to the article, to buy goods, and how this wasn't the first time they did it, that they actually did it in 2021 as well. And then I talked about how we can use gold and silver to barter right now here in America. Well, Andy says she's Venezuelan and she's here in America. And I was saying that Venezuelans can return back home and make change, effectuate change in their own country. And she's saying, from her experience, because she's from there, it's very, very hard to live, that the people that are in control control the military, how it's very violent, and it's very, they are forced to live in poverty. And we wanted to hear her story. And we wanted to hear her share her experiences, what's going on there. MM says the media tells a different story about the world and what's going on in different countries until you travel there and meet the people. Then you start to discover the truth. Okay, have her to record it and send a video. Okay, Sister Andy, if you are not able to come back, which we hope you are, we would love for you to do a recording and then to email it to me at kiapruitt@gmail.com. and then we'll put up the recording. But we're going to try to bring you back again later. They want to hear about Venezuela. Sister Joy wants to hear about Venezuela. She can't connect to the video. Wow, that sounds intentional. It sounds like somebody's preventing her. Okay, Marby, who is from Venezuela, also says, I cannot come in, but I can tell you that if Maduro is taken out, the majority of Venezuelans will go back home. Oh, I'm married to an American for 20 years now, and I still think of Venezuela. Wow. Wow, that's beautiful. So if they take Maduro out, she's saying people will go back home. I wonder if that's in the plan. Hi, Cleo. I know we are late getting to the other show, but we had somebody from Venezuela who was speaking to us. I don't see you, Code One. If you're in the background, I don't see you. Andy's not here. Gosh, any longer. I'm so sorry, Andy. We tried. We tried to get Andy to come back in. Code One, you're here? Code One says Maduro will be taken out of power. Okay. Did you click on the link, Code One? Because I don't see you. Marby came in? I don't see Marby. Oh, they're saying come in, Marby. They want to hear from you. Okay, Cleo said take your time. Thank you, Sister Cleo. I'm hoping I'm not stressing people out on the private membership group, because this was so good hearing from an actual Venezuelan tell us what's going on. Marby is saying, yes, it's true. If Maduro is taken out, that people will go back home. Thank you, Sister Cleo, for saying take my time. Militant Angel says now they're blocking, and I'm more intrigued about Venezuela. Right. Why are they blocking people from coming in? Code One, you click the link? Okay, click it one more time, Code One. I don't know what's going on. People are trying to come in and talk to us about this, and they're not able to come in. Sister Sheila, who's a part of our membership group, says, I believe he's going to be removed because we can't have world peace with bad people still in power. Here's the link if you're trying to get in. We wanted to hear back from Andy. Joy says, would taking Maduro out of power cause Russian retaliation? I don't know. It does seem to be on purpose, Cleo, that people can't get in. Even Code One is here. God, why can't I see you? Yes, they're asking me, are you having issues? Yes, I'm having issues. People can't come into the chat when I give them the link. This is StreamYard asking me if I'm having issues. I did contact you. Okay, family. What would you like for me to do? Because it sounds like the government is blocking us from having these type of conversations. I agree. Who said that? Kelvin H. Thank you. God, this is crazy. Well, I'm already scheduled to do a live on my membership group. So I want to do a live on the membership group. And then we won't be long because I just want to tell them about a secret trust that a White House insider said that we have and that President Trump will release. And then we can come back for part 2. Somebody said share my referral link. Okay, The link, which link, darling? Oh, we would love to see a Venezuelan panel. Yes, Joy, that's a great idea. Andy says, I'm back, but you don't hear me. I don't hear you, Andy. That's crazy. Blocking means that we're over the target. PG5D says, I agree. Angie's back. You can see her too? I mean, you see her in the chat? Code 1 Film can hear me. I can't see anybody in the back office to bring them up. Okay, Andy, I'm going to remove you. Andy, can you go out and then come back in? Because I can still see you in the background. I see you in S Coop. Can you go out and come back in? Code 1 says he can hear me and see me. I don't see you at all, Code 1. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Code 1. There you are. Code 1, you're on.
Okay.
Code 1. Greetings, darling. Greetings, Code 1. We're here. I can see you and hear you. I mean, I can't see you, but I can hear you. I brought you up on the screen. Are you here? This is wild. Andy, I brought you up. It's us completely dark. Wow. You guys can see I brought up Andy and Code 1 to speak on the Venezuelan issue, and their screens are completely black. So let's do this. They're static. Okay. I have people waiting on the other one. Else I would come right back. Can y'all give me about 20 or 30 minutes and we'll come right back?
No problem, Tia.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you. What's up, Code 1? We can hear you now.
Grand Rising.
Grand Rising, darling. It's so good to hear you.
Well, same here. Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. See, like on the 28th of April of 25, the military behind the scenes dropped the rods of God on the Iran nuclear facility, totally destroying it, and with no radiation leak. Now, that happened behind the scenes. That has a lot to do with what's going on right now over in Iran. Just wanted to speak on that for a second.
Okay.
So you have all, because you got to remember, all European monarchies are under the House of Saud under the Treaty of Jeddah because of what Drew Ali did and Abdullah bin Aziz Saud did.
Mm-hmm.
So when he did that, that put all European monarchies under Saudi Arabia. That's why Trump saved bin Salman's life in Vegas. That Vegas shooting was a distraction for the assassination of bin Salman by his family. But Trump found out and sent in special forces and got bin Salman out. That's why Trump danced with the Holy Scimitar. So basically, Trump is the Sultan of Arabia right now because of what he did by him saving the House of Saud. Because what he did was he flipped Saud from a black hat to a white hat. And here, you have to think, Saud owns 44% of the stock market. That was a big move right there. So I can say a lot going on behind the scenes.
Yes, sir.
You know, as you said before, the BRICS countries are already realigning. We're already under the gold standards. Everything is done. Everything is done. They did the test on the QFS. Snap of a finger, it's overseas just like that. I mean, the systems are totally integrated now. So we are about to make that move. And it's going to be really soon. And see, under Nassar, there can be no law. No wars. Okay. So that's why Trump basically just ended the war. You know, he gave them the ultimatum. He kept giving them opportunity after opportunity. Then he said, okay, all gloves are off now. Now, you know, if you don't surrender, we're going to destroy you. It is what it is. This is war. See, he's running the Art of War manual.
Okay.
You know, it's a saying in the Art of War manual. never interfere with your enemy while he's in the process of destroying himself. Just sit down river and watch the bodies float by. And we're at that point right now.
How would you encourage our sister Andy and others that are from Venezuela?
Well, right now, buy Bolivar, stock up on it, because when the switch is flipped, that Bolivar is going to be worth so much money, and she will be rich. In other words, buy now and hold like the dong, and the what's the Vietnamese dong and the dinar?
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Those three, buy them, hold them.
Okay.
And you already know this, kid. You know this for sure.
Yes.
There's a lot going on. Well, that's just to touch on some of the things that's happening right now. And I appreciate the opportunity that you give me right now, because the audience do need to hear things like this, because there's a lot of questions out there and a lot of answers that are not answered. And all I'm trying to do is just do my diligence as a digital warrior and pass on the information to us so we can pass it on. So that, see what Trump did, he created a digital warrior by declassifying all that stuff that would have normally stayed declassified. So that enabled us to get in the mix and pass this information around and get us to the point of 80% consciousness where God can step in. Well, God is saying Gad. Where Gad can step in. Because once Gad steps in, everything changes, and Gad is behind this movement now. See, that's what people have to understand. This is that biblical jubilee that you always so eloquently explain.
Thank you.
You know. Well,
now what's Gad? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Who we refer to as God.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The word God came around in the 15th century. It's a German word. It comes from the word Gott, Gut, Gu to now God, and it represents basically Satan. So you got all these people are giving all this energy to the wrong entity. You know, Gad.
Wow.
You know, that's God, whom we refer to as God. It's just that most don't know that because they've constantly been fed misinformation over the years, including in you. But we were raised a certain way, and our parents put this knowledge into us and this thirst for knowledge. Like your mom did to you and my mom did to me. My mom was born in 21. She taught me law and civics and basic UCC as a young man. You know, my mom used to train. She trained all the old Jewish lawyers in Chicago because they just knew feudal law. She knew feudal law. She knew common law. She knew commercial law. You know, and she knew international law. She taught me all that as a young kid. So, like in Illinois, I won every case I had because she told me, she said, listen, this is what you do. You pay your lawyer $65. You prepare your case. You ask him what he needs. You go out and do the paralegal work. You come in court. You give him the folder, and you walk out. She said, you got a 50-50 chance. Well, I took a plea bargain once. And she beat the dog mess out of me and said, son, your rights are yours. They're not to be given away by anyone. Wow. She said, you know, that's where she taught me what, you know, how to defend myself in court. And ever since, I've never taken a plea bargain. I get rid of the lawyer and I handle my case myself because I know more law than them. I beat up on United States lawyers and state lawyers. I beat up on some terrible in law. And I beat up on them at law. Not trying to brag, just saying that our parents prepared us for this moment. The prophet said years ago, he said, this is not for y'all. This is for the 6th and 7th generation. That's us. He knew that we would understand this, and they wouldn't because they were still in that colored state of mind. So now we're in another state of mind. We're in the state of mind that we're supposed to be in now. We understand all this information. Now we understand it. Now we're starting to put the pieces together. Now we're starting to make ourselves whole. We need to be made whole. We're not whole. And this is when the sorrow will make us whole. Like when I go into court, for public record, I put my name on special deposit for future return of my interest. I'm the executor, the third party intervener, only real party in interest. and I hold all equitable title in said real estate. And I see no other bona fide equitable claim of the same. Now, magistrate, this constructive trust between us with its quantum of interest is to settle this case, make sure the sheriff's paid, clerk, court's paid, and the lawyer who said he was me, make sure he's paid. Okay. And remand the remainder to me in the form of a check. It's my wish and it's my will. It's for my posterity, and for my privity. I need to be made whole.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, now I have come to you in good faith, with good conscience and good reason. You must show cause where this cannot be done, or be it resolved. See, I walk out with a check.
Wow.
Gotta remember, church and state are right there. The public side and private side are right there in that court. Because when I go in there for public record, I'm here under Timothy, 1 Timothy. The law is not for a just man, and Matthew 29. Blessed be the peacemaker. I come in peace. Oh, okay, all right. Oh, just okay. And then all of a sudden, the clerk throws them headphones off like fire came through and hit her ears.
People want to know, who are you? Because you're speaking with such authority. They're like, who is this speaking? Can you give us just a little bit of who you are? How can you speak with such a surety and authority?
I'm Amir Moadeeb Ben Burgos-el. I teach law and civics at the Moore Science Temple of America, Temple 8 in Arkansas, but I'm here in Indiana. I'm the Amir of Indiana under Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs. And I basically teach law and civics and commercial law. And I'm a secured party, discharge bills, so on and so forth. I know how to take $1 and clear out debts. You got to remember, there are dollars out there that have serial numbers on them that are backed by silver. You can use those to discharge your bills, and I have the process.
Can you come back on another time and do a full live with us?
I would love to, Kia.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Anybody have questions for him before we go to our other live? They want to know if they can you contact him or me? They said, please leave your information. We're going to bring him back on. What's your schedule like?
Right now, I'm recovering from injury, but so I got plenty of time on my hands right now. Okay.
Do you favor mornings, afternoons, or evenings?
Mornings be better because I'll be more sharp.
You be sharp in the morning.
I've had like 2 or 3 cups of coffee.
Okay. Do you want to do tomorrow? Do you want to do next week? Early next week? What do you want?
Tomorrow be good. That'll give me a chance to prepare some topics and get some information together to make sure that I'm on point. So yeah, tomorrow, give me a time.
We came on today at 10:30. What about 11? How about 11?
11 sounds great.
Okay. I was gonna say, unless you were early riser, you want to come on earlier.
11 is good. That'll give me a chance to get some coffee and a couple of couple pieces of toast. So
that's exciting. So you go by code 1 film, right?
Yep.
And you're gonna talk tomorrow. Go ahead.
I'm MB Burgos-el.
You who?
MB Burgos-el. Moadeeb Ben Burgos-el.
M-V or B? More ID. V.
Moadeeb Ben Burgos-el.
Okay.
Yeah. You can find me on Facebook under Amir Moadeeb Ben Burgos-el, which we talk all the time on Facebook. You already know.
That's you. Okay.
Yeah, that's me.
Well, please send me a message on there, just to send me a message saying hi, because I'm going to ask you to send me a brief bio. Do you have a brief biography? Because if you don't, it's okay.
I don't.
Okay.
No, I haven't really thought about the right one now.
Oh, that's okay. Well, tell me what you want to talk about. Are we going to talk about civics tomorrow?
Your choice.
Okay.
We can talk about what's happening now, or we can talk about, whatever topic you choose, I'm cool with.
Okay.
I'm very open.
Yeah, we'll talk about civics and what's happening now. And Chief Fayawata says, I would like to do something with him for the people in the islands.
Oh, great. Oh, praise the Most High. Praise both sides. That sounds like a winner.
All right.
I will be open to that. Definitely.
He's open to that, Chief. This is exciting. Militant Angel says, give thanks to your guest. It would be great to hear him again. He's going to be on tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And he's going to talk about what's going on. He may talk a little bit about civics, but he's also going to talk about what's going on in the world now, in America and with these other nations. We're very happy about that because, you know, we keep hearing about deportation and how our borders have been invaded. But thankfully, we heard from Andy, who's from Venezuela today, that explained from her side how hard it is to go back, how the people would literally die in poverty, or it's just not physically safe. So it's good to hear from them and to hear from our brother today that says what they could do to mitigate those problems that they're having in their home country and what we can do here in America. MM says, please, they want to hear about civics, how to go about teaching these topics to small children. I like to introduce this knowledge to my nieces and nephews, but I don't know how or where to start. So he'll be here tomorrow, family, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. He said he's going to talk about American jurisprudence. We're chatting in the private chat. That sounds wonderful. And they're saying they're very excited. Hi, Renee Goddess. Thank you for being a member of the Silver Soul Tribe. The family is so excited. Kat says she'll be here tomorrow. Kat will be here. No, this will be on this channel.
Wow, these people want to hear more.
They want to hear. It won't be on the private.
I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
What'd you say, dear? So, okay. So he'll be back tomorrow, 11 o'clock a.m. You guys can ask your questions. We're going to give him time. He can speak for, a couple hours if he desires and answer your questions. So thank you all so much for being gracious enough to allow me to go with the flow. I appreciate it. And thank you for listening to him. He's given me his Facebook name. Hold on so we can put it in the chat for you all. This is his Facebook. Ooh, wait a minute. Let me see. Andy, are you still here? From our Venezuelan American sister? Are you here? We can see your screen, but it's still black. We'll come back later on after I do that private group chat. Wait a minute. Hold on, family. I have to do my private group video in a minute. I changed the time to 12:30. Okay. He will be on this channel, not the private channel. He'll be on this channel. They're so excited. Okay, let me see what else they're saying. Hello. Sounds exciting because Americans don't know the truth. It's been kept secret from us, PG5D says. Please ask about his background tomorrow. Okay, we will. His name is Amir Moadeeb Ben Burgos-el on Facebook. I put it up for you all. Let me see if I can find it on my Facebook page. If you guys are in my private membership group, we're going to go on at 12:30. But I thank you so much for your patience. I apologize for being late. We wanted to get this information out to the family about what's going on in Venezuela and how President Trump is getting rid of the deep state. Any final words, brother? They're friending you on Facebook now. Let me see if I can bring it up. Can you give us some encouraging closing words, Brother Amir? This is him with the Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey of the Moors. You have any encouraging words to close us out with, Brother Amir? Oh, you're welcome. He said, thank you for the opportunity. He might be gone. Are you gone? He says, bye. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe I can't hear him, but he says, bye.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Bye Silver Gold, bye Boulevard, Dong, and Dinar.
Okay.
That's my advice. It's the same advice that you're giving, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know my mic was still on. I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. And they're gonna. So tomorrow, can you address why they should buy it?
Oh, sure will. Most definitely. Well, the main reason is we're moving to a gold-based standard. Everything is going to be Basel III, Basel IV. That's why banks are open now. They're Basel III, Basel IV. That means they have gold and silver to back their assets. So that's the main reason why we're moving to a whole new system, quantum financial system, ISO 20022. You know, this is a new day. This is it. We're right at the precipice. It's about to go down.
And people will be able to return home safely.
Once you got to remember, all these leaders who are not right, they're about to be taken out of position. Because see, there's a global alliance. Trump is the supreme commander of the global galactic alliance. See, this is not just us. You got the Galactic Alliance who's behind this also. There's a treaty that's already been signed by Trump with the Galactic Alliance. So he has a Galactic Alliance with him as the supreme leader. Putin is in the alliance. Modi is in the alliance. Al-Sudani is in the alliance. Bin Salman, Kim Jong-un, Xi Jinping. So you see, behind the scenes, there's a lot of things going on that nobody knows about. So what you hear in the public is just what it is. It's in the public. It doesn't mean, as Trump would say so eloquently, fake news. Because see, there's a global alliance behind the scenes. You got to remember, he just 7 million executions behind the scenes, 7 million plus, and still going. Here's the kicker. Remember the military parade Saturday? Okay, that was a setup. He got all the congressmen in D.C. and then arrested 80 of them, put them in helicopters and flew them in the helicopters over the parade. What? That's gangster. That's gangster.
Wow. Hi, Andy is back. Hey.
Andy.
I cannot see you, but I can hear you.
Buenos dias, Andy.
Buenos dias. I cannot see you, but I can hear you.
Okay, we can see you and hear you. We're so glad to have you back.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
It feels good to be able to, how can I say, kind of tell the truth of how people in general feel over there in Venezuela, yeah?
Okay, yes.
Obviously, they've done a wonderful job hiding the real way that people live there nowadays.
Yes.
But I'm sure that many people in politics know the truth, including this, you said gold telegraph? That,
yes, ma'am. They do.
That somehow painted the wrong situation in Venezuela. It's not like that. You steal 1 milligram of a gram of gold and you are dead. I mean, it's not true that people, oh yeah, well, you can find gold, the nuggets right on the floor. No, you mine for it, okay? And you also do a lot of damage because they do it the old way that they use. I don't know, but I think they use mercury to mine it. Over there, they don't spend anything on mining, but the people, you know, that they enslave to get the gold out. So it's not a panacea like, you know, it's being painted at all.
That's right.
People go back there, you're going to be hungry, or you're going to be put in jail, or you're going to be abused by the military, because that's the way it is right now. I take it that if Maduro gets off and they actually, you know, they take him down and together with all the military there, because all the military is being paid and bought by Maduro for many years. You have to get rid of the whole cancer for people to be able to be feel safe to go back. Also, the fact that they've been there so long, there is a lot of young Venezuelans that don't know any better. All these Territorial youth, that's the way they grew up. That's the way they grew up in Venezuela. They encourage stealing, no morals, because that works for the government. It works wonderfully for the government. And that's the way they are bringing them up.
But does that make us unsafe here?
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, of course. These people have no morals, not all of them. I know many Venezuelans here that are wonderful people and trying to. They are illegals, but they are not Territorial illegal. They are good people that are just trying to survive. Okay, I haven't seen any of them getting rich legally. I have seen some of them getting rich illegally, but you have both. I would say that the majority of them are just trying to survive, to make a living and bring up their families because they can't in Venezuela.
Yeah.
The young people that came here through, I don't know, something called Darien, which is a mountain pass or something between two South American or Central American countries. I don't know even where it is, to be able to walk all the way to United States. Many of them were young people with very little civic background because families are destroyed. So there are no mothers, or the father is a drunkard, or, the situation for them has never been any good since 20 years, 25 years till now. So they haven't had the opportunity to be good or to even see what goodness is. Yeah.
Correct.
So it's very difficult to act correctly or legally if you have never seen that.
Yeah, it's very complicated. It's very complicated because we need to empathize with, people coming from countries like Venezuela, Cuba,
correct.
Honduras. They've had a rough life. They lived in poverty. They've seen violence. And at the same time, if they come here and some of them, behave that way, then all of us become unsafe.
Correct.
But then what you see, sister, is us fighting back and forth. You should be here, you shouldn't. And then,
no, I think they shouldn't be here. I think people should go back. If you're illegal here, you should go back. But at this time, you cannot throw people back there to be killed.
What if they're killing Americans here? What if
No. I understand. Okay. I understand that. What I'm trying to say is that, yes, send them back. But somehow, whatever you would have spent on them here, I don't know, this is my idea.
Yes.
Install something over there that they can go back and survive for at least 5 years or something until they prepare the country again to have an industry that would maintain, or industries that would maintain, because Venezuela is very rich. So all they need is the right investment, but legal investment, and people that are not going there to exploit, the resources, but actually, yes, make a living, make a profit, but also spread the wealth, among the people in Venezuela. Yes. That's not happening and hasn't happened in many years.
Sister, I have friends that are in the Cuban community, and they get really upset with me because I'm like, as an American, I could never go into any country illegally and overstay my visa. I would be deported. I might be put in jail, and so from my perspective, it's like, the rules should be the same. I couldn't do this, but they're like, go ahead.
It's different. You have never being in a situation where you either get out of there or you die of hunger, or you get out of there or your child is so sick and cannot get any medical help. You have never been in that situation. I cannot judge that. I just know that it's not right, and that you would do anything to save your family or your child from dying. It is very easy.
I as an American, considered Black American, with a lot of the things that we've endured in this country, many of us have tried to like run to Africa because like a lot of our family members have been addicted to drugs. It's hard to when you've been oppressed, But I hear what you're saying, because I had to make a way. I found a way. But so my family tried to escape to Africa, and the African people in Ghana were like, I mean, we like you, but you're not us. And you don't speak our language. Not our mother language. You're not going to come here and get a job. You're not going to get any government benefits. You're not going to get any land. In fact, we're going to extort you because you're a Bruni, because they consider us white because we're American. And in fact, one of my sons did overstay his visa. So what they did was they called me and asked me for, the government said they tried to extort me and say, you need to pay for your son overstaying the visa. It's not to the extent of what you all go through, but I'm saying that people have tried to escape to other countries, but there's been no help for us. There's been no help for Black Americans, so-called Black Americans. We had to figure it out on our own. But I hear what you're saying too. That's why I'm saying it's complicated, because I've never actually seen, well, I have seen people gunned down in the street, so I can't even say that.
Yeah.
It's tough, sister. It's tough.
Yeah. The other thing that also doesn't help is that we had so much influence from the United States. While I was growing up, I used to come here to shop, from Venezuela. I used to come here to shop for Christmas or we were very influenced. We had a lot of cultural influence from the United States, because United States was pretty much involved very much in Venezuelan resources. It wasn't out of friendliness or anything. It was I give you, you give me kind of deal. Okay. So we had very much same kind of culture, because the Americans were the cool ones. They have everything. Let's learn how they are. So we were very similar. So we never have that problem with cultural shock like many other cultures have.
Yes.
When they come over, it's not. We are pretty much the same. We are more Christian, more Catholic, if you like, than Americans. I mean, there's a lot of Catholics here, but what I mean is that over there is the majority of people is Catholic.
Okay.
And
sister,
I don't know how much.
Sister, excuse me, sister. We got 2 more minutes, and then I have to go to my other podcast.
Course, yes.
But I want you to come back, okay? I want you to come back. But go ahead.
All I'm trying to say is that everything has changed a lot in 30 years of tyranny. Okay. My opinion, tyranny. I have to be careful here because, but. We are basically the same. That's why they like coming here, the Venezuelans at least, and also South Americans and Central Americans, is because the cultures are very similar, okay? So you don't have any culture shock. Cultural shock when, like other countries that, they feel so different and they never integrate. But all I'm trying to say is that given the opportunity, I still think most Venezuelans would return to their country if given the opportunity to make a living there. It doesn't even have to be a perfect living. Just make a living and be safe. Because right now, those two are not existent in Venezuela.
Mm. Mm. So now I was asking you before you got cut off how you could encourage the American people who feel like our resources are being divided, and given to there were 15 million undocumented people here in America,
Yeah.
and so it's good to hear your side though, because it's very easy to not have empathy if you don't hear the story
Yeah.
of the people that have endured such hardships.
That's
What do you
that.
think we should do to
I
do?
think United States has the means to be able to at least half of the people encourage them somehow to return economically encourage these people to return.
Mhm.
But it's not by giving them $1,000. Just make their country work. Make the country and Trump and United States have the power to do this. Yeah,
I
to
agree.
actually establish civility in their own countries. Yeah, and hope in their own countries. Uh, there is something that Americans love, and they love to make a buck when you invest in something. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
invest in, and that's wonderful. That's really good.
Okay.
Invest in those countries, get the wrong people out of power, and just invest in there so that people feel attracted to go back to their country. I know that at least in Central and South America, many people love to live in their country until it was damaged, until it was taken over by the wrong people. So yes, that's all. At least half of the people here would go back to their own country. Some others, no. Some others would definitely not. But many of them would. The only problem with this is that it's been so long, and people have been going out of Venezuela so long, and these were young people. They never saw any better. So they didn't see the Venezuela I saw, the Venezuela I lived in. So they don't have that image of the goodness and the wonderful way that you could live in Venezuela with a middle income, or even low income, but you could live happily there. But they haven't seen that. They never saw it. Anybody that is 25 years, 30 years or younger, they never saw that part.
So that the idea of going back would be very, very traumatic for them if they never.
It would
witnessed
not
that.
entice them. It wouldn't.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
all they seen is or heard is the wrong things about Venezuela for 30 years. Now, if they just arrived 5 years ago and all of that, they are still the wrong people because they were brought up in the wrong environment. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Somebody, Chief, saying, "Let's be real. The money is going to the elites in their trafficking."
Correct.
Chief Fire Wata.
Yep, correct. All the money and all the resources are going to the minimal. I would guess it's about 2%, 1% in Venezuela. And there is no middle class. Middle class was destroyed years ago.
Class. No. Wow. I can tell you that everything you've shared here has been really valuable to us, because it's not often that we get to hear someone from your country tell their story.
Yeah, it's sad. But like me, I guess, like that we're hopeful because we saw the other side. You see, we saw it. I still remember we saw it. But unfortunately, many of the younger people have never seen it.
Yes.
So I don't know what the answer is. I think it is, for now, get rid of those people over there in power. Put the president that is our president, legal president that is living in Spain because he cannot be allowed to be a president in Venezuela.
Oh, he's in Spain.
Oh yeah, he cannot live in Venezuela because Maduro does not accept did not accept the elections results.
Okay. Okay.
So no, he's living in Venezuela together with the second person that people love most there, which is called Maria Corina Machado. They were practically pushed out.
Mm, mm, mm. And you know, I have a theory about some of the people that are protesting. Someone said if like some of the Mexican brothers and sisters that are here protesting, if they were protesting in their own country, they would be taken by the police and probably, you know,
Oh yeah.
murdered.
Oh
But
yeah.
I think some of the people that are protesting, sister, I think a lot of the protests probably are peaceful, but I think some of those protests have been infiltrated by paid
Correct.
provocateurs.
It is my belief that those protesters, about 80% of them, are just paid. And they go there and they make a mess and they show, how bad it is and whatever, but they're just being paid.
Yeah.
Because here they're having trouble because they cannot make a living decent enough for them, but that's their own fault because I really think that here if you are good and if you are decent, even if you work illegally, you can still make a living, you know?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's no good for Americans. but
I
the truth
understand what you're
is, but the truth is that those people that are on the street, they usually, I don't know if you notice, either they are very old, that means that they are not being taken care of as senior citizens of America. They are not being taken care of. Obviously, they feel the need to earn extra money, or they are very young, which usually not from United States and just having a hard time of it, or having very little values and just deciding to protest because they're being paid for it, even though they know it's wrong.
Yes, ma'am. I want to tell you that I really appreciate you, Sister Andy, coming on and being empathetic, even to hear what I had to say, because you're saying, no, it's not that way at all. You know, you came in such a loving, peaceful way. I really appreciate that. Like you wanted to get your story out and you weren't angry at me for giving my thoughts of what's going on. I appreciate that.
No, and I respect that because at least you talked about it, you know, and this is being ignored for so many countries. And I understand that Americans feel upset about all this invasion because to me, yes, it looks like an invasion. You know, I didn't realize how many people were let in.
Yes.
That's terrible. It's terrible. No country can support that. No, I mean, it's impossible. Mostly when these people, there are many of them that are educated, but most of them are not. So that's very tough to sustain economically.
But you know what, Sister Andy? You know, you say that and I say that, but when we really think about how the earth is really, really full of resources, full of gold, silver, precious metals, if the elite take their hands off of it and release that, we all would be able to live wherever we want it, and we all be able to live in harmony, and we all be able to live in wealth and prosperity. Like you said earlier, we need these people that are corrupt, that's holding on to our resources, to be taken out of power so that we can have relationships with each other, no matter what part of the country or world you live in. You know, with all this bickering going back and forth, you have people that are married to people that are immigrants, whether they're here illegally or illegal. They're fighting back and forth. They're arguing, you know, we don't have enough resources, or we're arguing about the borders, when we need the people at the top to give an account for what they've done to enslave us, And we as a people, no matter where we are, we need to do something to get rid of those people in power. What do you all think about this in the chat? Do you think we have enough resources in the world and even in this country for everybody if the elites would let those resources go? What do you guys think? We have an abundance of resources, Ankh says. Code One says that's true. JC says thank you. So it looks like Sister Andy got kicked off again. I want to say thank you, Sister Andy, for your love, for sharing your experiences, and for educating us on what it's really like to be in Venezuela, how it's hard to live in a place that's full of poverty, and how if you did try to mine gold illegally, you could be killed. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, because we don't know if we don't hear it from the people that actually live there. There she is. So I'm wrapping up. I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna let you, and then Cole might give your last words.
I heard you. All I can say at this time, because we have very little time, is that I understand that Americans feel, I'm American, that us feel like there is an invasion of people that are creating problems. It couldn't be more true. It couldn't. This was facilitated by the wrong people, and for the wrong reasons. So it's not all people to blame. They saw that people over there were hungry and totally uneducated, so they would fall for it. Let's bring them in, for our own purposes. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So yes. What can you do now? They're here and they're eating, and they have a roof. And they're running away from the police, but they are eating and they have a roof.
I understand. I do.
So it's tough. Try to get them out. It's gonna have to be hard, and it's gonna have to be unfair, which is terrible, because it's gonna be unfair to them. All they're trying is to leave, and to leave with no problems, and to raise a family. That's what they're trying to do, because they couldn't do it somewhere else, and somebody took advantage of that and brought them in. And then wash their hands.
And then wash their hands. The people in the chat are saying thank you, Sister Andy. They're saying the earth has plenty of resources. She replenishes herself. Jacob says there's enough land for everyone to have a house. There's enough resources to have whatever we need. The indigenous way is the only way, and that's what we need to go back and give back to the earth. Code One says that yes, we need to get back to that, sharing resources. But the tribes are organizing. People are organizing to be able to help our brothers and sisters all across the globe. So thank you, Sister Andy. I would love to hear more from you. I'm late for my other.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for hearing me. I really appreciate it, and you're doing a great job. And talk to you another time.
Yes, I'm putting my email in the chat.
Sister Andy.
Sister Andy, because I want
you.
Sister Andy, I want you to contact me. I put my email in the chat for you, because I would love for you, if you want to come back, please let me know.
Yes, I will find out how much in trouble did I get first. Because you remember, we still have a tyranny in Venezuela.
That's true. That's okay.
I need to kind of think about that and see how much trouble I got in.
Oh man, I thank you so much. I know that was a sacrifice, like you said, you can get in trouble.
I don't feel it like right now, but I'm silly that way. So we'll see what happens. But yes, thank you for the opportunity. I feel so much better.
You do?
Yes, because I was able to express something that I had in my heart for a long time.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Andy. We really appreciate you.
We do. We appreciate you, Sister Andy. Excuse me.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hasta luego.
Get you
Hasta
some
luego.
Bolivar. Get some Bolivar. Do you have get some Venezuelan Bolivar, Sister Andy?
Oh,
if you
it's
don't
not that I was going to tell you, no way. You cannot find bolivars anywhere.
Banknote World. Banknotes
No,
World.
I've been there 3
You've been there?
times. You find
Okay.
the very small denominations,
Uh-huh.
which usually are iffy if you're doing an RV.
Okay.
You know, the small denominations tend to be more difficult to exchange, just
Okay.
because they are small. You know, a bank prefers the large denominations. You know,
But some of those Bolivar were actually sobaneros first, and they were larger denominations, and then now they're smaller.
yes, but that's just a government thing that just decides to take the 3 zeros whenever they feel like it. Or they have to print too many bills.
She's right. She's right.
Yeah, that has no economic power whatsoever. You know.
What about 100trillions.com, sister? 100trillions.com. That's another place you can look.
Oh, cool. I can try that. Yes, I know that banknote, and the other one was Express something exchange or something like that. Doesn't even have them. I have the feeling that the first ones to know were the Venezuelan elite.
Of course. Yes.
And of course they took all of those bills already. So I don't know, but yes, it's good to find out. It's good to check, but I don't know any other exchange places that I would trust. I don't know. I have very little knowledge on that.
Okay. They're saying get what you can. Love Being Nubian is our moderator. She said, get what you can, sister.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, because if 5 bolivars are going to be the equivalent of $20, yes, get what you can. Yeah. Because the thing is that the way I feel is that Venezuela is a very, very rich in resources. So if there is going to be eventually an RV that I think is going to be far from now because it's just too twisted at the moment, I think it's still going to be worth it because Venezuela is as rich as at least what do you call Iraq? So it's worth it, but God knows when that will happen because I don't see any change at the moment politically. I don't see any change.
A lot of my friends that's from Venezuela, Vietnam, or Zimbabwe, these are where the currencies that people have invested in. They don't see any change happening soon. They just don't believe it will happen. Is that because?
Cool. Then that's good. Then that's good news because I know I am not very knowledgeable about politics. All I know is that the people I talk to in Venezuela, they haven't seen any change. So it could be that suddenly these people are going to disappear. I don't know.
Right. That's what the brother is saying. I'm going to one more minute, Sister Andy. What were you going to say, Code One Film? You just said it. You won't see the change. It will happen.
Yep. You won't see it just happen. And we're like right at the precipice now because everything is done. Everything is signed. Everything is done. All the USTNs are in the bank, ready to go, just waiting for the word to go, waiting for the go word. And I think the only thing holding it up is Iran, and I think he just settled that because under Nasser Kassar, there could be no wars. That's why they continue to try to keep a war. That's why you see all this violence in the streets. You got to remember, Mike Kings is paying these people $200 a day to loot, destroy, and create havoc. They're supplying pallets of bricks. They're giving them professional riot gear. So this is civil war. We're under 11.3. We're at DEFCON 1 now.
Yeah.
Neptune, Thymus, Foxcloak, Noodle Boot. We're at the precipice now. And it's just any day now. We don't know where because, if we know, then the deep state would know and they'll try to stop it. That's why Space Force has intercepted so many communications. They caught EMP equipment coming in. They was probably trying to shut down the grid. They caught that. And there's other things that they've been trying to do behind the scenes. And Trump and the military are right there with him, because you got to remember, he's playing 5-tier chess. So every time they make a move, they're waiting for him. He do something, they're waiting for him. He do something else, they're waiting for him. Because they know their playbook. These people have been in power for over 2,000 years, and they don't know nothing but offense. They don't know defense. So this is new to them, and that's why they're losing so bad. And so their thing is to create as much havoc and make this place unlivable if they can before the GCR. So when we do get it, everything's screwed up. So see, this is the 3D world. Everybody whose consciousness is right will be moving 5D. So right now there's two parallel timelines that are fighting for existence, but Project Looking Glass says there's only one timeline and they don't exist in it. That's the fact. That's the fact of the matter right there. So there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and we just can't see them. But if you pay attention, you can see little small signs of things changing. Like in my state, gold and silver can be used for debts now, and it can't be taxed. So if that doesn't tell you these things is about to happen and move, then nobody's paying attention. That's all I got to say. There's a lot going on. We don't know what it is, but like I said, I have good intel because I have 2 SEAL friends and an Army general who give me intel that's not classified. That's why I know.
Whoa. And you're going to be on tomorrow to give us more of this intel, right?
Most definitely.
So I thank you so much. And I thank you, brother. I thank you, Sister Andy. I'm so grateful that the two of you came here to share the intel, the information. You have educated us immensely. Thank you.
Well, we all educate each other. It's an old saying in the Moorish community, Kia, each one reach one, each one teach one.
Yes, sir.
And I'll leave with that. I'll leave with that.
I love that. I love that. I love you all. I love that our soul tribe is comprised of people from different nations. I love that. Different countries, different ethnicities. Yes, different religious backgrounds. So family, I'm going to go over. Thank you so much, Sister Andy. Thank you so much, Brother Amir. Brother Amir will be back tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. He's going to go over civics. He's going to give us some intel because he knows military generals and people in the military, and because he's a Moor, he's going to tell us what's going on with Donald Trump and the Global Alliance tomorrow, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on this public channel. Now, what we're going to do, you're welcome, family, is we're going to go over to the private channel. That's a channel for investors, and we're going to talk about a secret trust that President Trump is going to unleash. And I'm going to send that information to you too, Brother Amir, so that you can go over it and you can tell me your thoughts whenever you get a chance, okay? All right. So they're saying thank you, family. They're saying thank you. I love you. Thank you, Sister Andy. Thank you, Brother Amir. Talk to you all later. Peace, family. See you on the other channel on the Silver Soul Tribe here. Here's the link to join. Either you click on the link or you can go to any of my videos or the main channel on Dr. Kia Pruitt Official. And beside the subscribe button, you will see the join button for our private membership group. We're going to talk about this secret trust, alleged secret trust that Trump will release, comprised of trillions of dollars. And we're going to talk about how that money and that wealth's going to all of us, but how you can also do something to invest to get additional funds for your family, your community, and for your humanitarian projects. Peace, family. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. You've heard from me. You've heard from Brother Amir, who is a Moorish educator. And he'll be here 11 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. And you've heard from Sister Andy from Venezuela to explain to us what's going on in her country, how we need to get rid of corruption, and how we need to all work together as sovereign beings, people of the Most High, We all come from source, how we need to rally together, love, and support each other. And that's it, family. You also heard from the chat to tell you which currencies you should invest in and where you can buy them from. Having said that, I'm Dr. Kia Pruitt. I trust that we've said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. Go make this a great day. I'll see you on my other channel in the membership group right now. And for the rest of you, I'll see you at 11 o'clock a.m. tomorrow. Peace. Share the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Do that because at some point I'm going to come off all my other social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm just tired of it. I'm just ready to live in the private. So I'm going to keep up my YouTube channel for as long as I can until we RV. But some of my other social media platforms, I'm really ready to let them go. But while they're all up, if you're tuning in from any of my social media platforms, please click the link to subscribe to my channel. You don't have to subscribe to the private membership group, but please subscribe to the channel so that I can keep you updated on what's going on geopolitically and economically. I love you. Bye-bye.